let me, all right. All right, just so everyone sees, we're going to be doing sales skills. So this is going to be basically the, what's important skills for us being travel agents. One of the biggest things that we as travel agents are doing is sales. So that means, we're selling them a vacation more or less. You know what it is? We're going to be able to offer them discounted vacations, or even, vacation packages, whether it's, just air, hotel, resort, tickets for concerts, you know, a wide variety of things. The biggest thing is sales, how to do sales, how to be able to um get that sale, close that sale. I've been doing sales for about 22 years. It's one of my biggest loves, passion is sales. Um, so what I'm gonna ask, we'll do a question, Q&A at the end. If you have questions throughout, you could definitely put them in the chat. And this way, then, when I'm done, we can go ahead and go back. Or if you are confused on something that I'm saying, please feel free to put a comment in the chat box. And Amy or Ryan, whoever sees it, if they, just want to say something, let me know. One of the biggest things that I am going to touch on are 6 important sales skills for travel agents to follow. To me, these are the most important ones as far as what will help you to be able to get that sale, close on that sale, and be able to make that commission, because that's basically what we're here for, is to make that commission. The first one I want to touch on is knowing your client. If you don't know what it is that your client's looking for, what it is that your client wants, would you agree you're not going to be able to sell your client? If you don't know your client, and if you don't ask the right questions, at the end of the day, you're going to be repeating questions to this client, and you're not going to be able to make that sale. Because if I'm working with someone who continues to ask me the same thing over and over again, I'm not going to be able to really say that I know, because I'm really not listening to what they're telling me. One of the main things is listening to what your client is telling you. If you're talking and your client's talking, you're really not listening. So the main thing is listening to understand, not listening to just listen. And there is a difference, because I can say I listen, but don't understand, or I can say I listen and I understand. Because when you're listening to understand, you're not going to ask your client the same question that they just answered. Instead, you'll reiterate it to them by wording it differently to show them that you understand what question it was that they gave you, or what answer they gave you. So knowing your client is very important. By knowing what they want, what their needs are, what they're asking, that's a very important skill. I put it at the top because that's one of the biggest things in order to be able to work your sale, is knowing your client. Set goals and create a plan. You want to be able to set the goals and create a plan, not only for yourself, but with your sales. So with each client that you have, it's very important to set the goal on where you want to go with that sale, what it is that you're wanting to accomplish and achieve with that client. So you set your goals with your client for your sales, as well as you set your goal and create a plan to say, this is how I'm going to be able to close this sale, and this is how I'm going to be able to work this sale. So you've got to set a plan and goal when it comes down to each sale, because each sale is different, because every client's need is different. So you have to be focused on what the goal is and the plan is for each client individually. And then at the end, what is your goal and your plan to be able to conquer each sale individually, to be able to make your commissions at the end. So the next thing is, finding and keeping your customers. It's very important, to find and keep your clients. The quality of service that you offer is going to be a big thing on being able to keep your clients. Also being able to offer, cheap and competitive prices, as well as fast delivery. So with each one of these, the quality of your product, okay, we're really, our product is travel. So you want to be able to show them the best for the less price. So you want to be able to at least sell them on a product that's going to be of a good value to them. That's where, asking what your, budget is, and getting all of that information, that's a good way to know, um, to be able to have the quality of products. Does that make sense to everyone? So
Makes
when we
sense.
say So when we say fast delivery, I'm not saying I'm talking to the client right now and I'm going to give them an answer right now. When I say fast delivery means normally with my clients, I tell them, allow me, anywhere between 24 to 72-hour turnaround time. It depends on the client that I'm working with. So that's where it comes into place as far as the dynamics of your sale, of your client, and of that quality. So they give you the information so you know what you're working with, and you know what you have to look through. So if you see that you're dealing with a group and it's a group of 10, and you have to look into so many different avenues of that sale, that 72 hours may not be enough time. So you're going to have to give them a little bit more time and tell them, I need XYZ amount of time in order to be able to be effective on getting you good quality for what you're looking for, a really good price, but also giving it to you in a timely fashion. So those are three main keys that you want to look at when it comes down to finding and keeping your clients: is quality product and knowing your product, what it is that you're, wanting to sit there and give them, what it is that they're needing, cheap prices, making sure that you're looking at every single vendor that you can be able to price match it, compare it, to be able to offer them. When you come back to your client, you want to come back with options, but you want to start out high and go low. Start out with what's in their budget, and what may be a little bit over their budget. But that's where you build the package to be able to show them the quality, to show them, the good price, and to give it to them in that timely manner. Those three right there are key when it comes down to building that sale and keeping that client, if that makes sense to everyone. Can you just type in the chat yes or no?
A lot of yeses.
All right. So the next over here, keeping and finding your customers yet again. You want to keep in mind consumers can book travel themselves. And that's something that we all know. We all have done it ourselves before we became travel agents. We were out there booking our own travel. We didn't need anybody. We'd go online, Google something, or go to Priceline or Booking, or, and book our own travel. They don't need us. We need them. That's something we always got to remember. We need them. So in order for us to be able to get them, we've got to win them over with what it is we can offer to what they can find already out there. So you need to see exactly what you're going to do to win them, to keep them coming back. So there's been many trainings where you can go on and look at different vendors. You can look at different websites and you can see the different prices, from One Travel to Booking.com to Priceline to CheapOair, comparing all of these different vendors that are out there and third parties that are out there, and you can be able to see all these different ones and compare the prices and build it. They see these same things. Some of them they don't, because not everyone actually accesses all of these, third party vendors out there. So they don't go to every single one of them. So we have to build it for them and kind of win them over, whether it's, believe it or not, a lot of clients, even if it's you saving them $5 makes a difference. Because if they find it for $2 cheaper, trust and believe they're going to go for the $2 cheaper, unless you sell them on a package that is phenomenal. And I say that and I speak that out of, experience doing it and booking it and seeing, you know, what it is that the clients go for. So with that being said, you know, 73% of our consumers say that, you know, friendly service have them fall in love with the brand. You know, when you get that client on the phone, you've got the first 3 seconds to impress that client. You've got those first 3 seconds. So what does that mean? By the tone when you say hello, by the way you speak, by the way they hear you, by the way that you respond to them when they say, I'm trying to book a vacation. Those first 3 seconds of that call determine whether that call is even going to continue or not. You know what I'm saying? It's very important that your tone is something that you watch when you're on with the clients, because that's where you're going to really build that what's the word I'm looking for? Sorry, guys. Where you build that rapport, where you start building the rapport with the client. 86% are willing to pay up to 25% more for better customer experience. And when I say that, because they're going to pay more if you offer them a service that appeals to them. So the more that you're willing to do for your client, the more that your client's willing to work with you. And I say that because patience is a virtue, especially in the travel agent world. Everybody thinks, oh, I want to book to make commission, to make the money. That's completely understandable and respectable. But one thing that you have to always understand is if you don't have the customer service that they're looking for, they won't book with you. They may be willing, they may tell you their budget is 2,500, but in their head, they're willing to spend 3,000. But you've got to win it and you've got to earn it. And you've got to show them that they need to go with you, not that they want to, that they need to, because you're willing to take the time to educate them on what is out there that's going to save them money by building them that package that is better than a package they could have built on their own. Many clients look for you to sell yourself, and that is key. You have to sell yourself. Why? We are home-based travel agents. I myself, and I don't know how many others, if you want to comment in the chat, I myself actually go out, even with COVID, you know, I go out, I meet with clients face to face. You know, I'm actively out there when a client wants to meet with me. Why? We are home-based travel agents. About 90% of our business is on the phone. So they don't have that face-to-face interaction. They have a voice and that's it. You have to make them comfortable with you in order for them to want to book with you. So you have to sell yourself with your tone, with your inflection, with the way that you are, with what you offer them. If you just go out there and you just book a package just because you're going to book it because you want to book them, and it's not the best that you could have offered, they're going to see that. Because the first moment that you just stutter or stumble, that's that moment that they're going to grab and they're going to go with it. They're going to just run with that because you gave them a moment to sit there and second guess you. You never want your client to second guess you. You want to sell them on everything that you can. So you want to sell them on yourself. Would you agree?
Yes, ma'am. We do have one question
Okay.
about the vax. I wanted to wait for a good pausing point. Hannah's been an agent since July and she's trying to get someone to the Bahamas and trying to do payment plans, but can't find it on Vax for monthly payments.
All right. And she's wanting to go when?
It's a great question. Hannah?
Is she still in here?
I think so. Hannah, if you're still with us, if you could give us more details about your client's trip to the Bahamas. She might be busy because she's on her phone, so she might be doing something else.
Okay. Just remind me now and we'll try to address it again if when
I'm
she's...
right. I'm sorry, I was trying to log back. Yeah, so I got 2%, and then another person got interested, make it 3. So they're actually looking for payment plans where they would pay, once I send in the code, they saw the monthly payment right under there. They were interested in doing that monthly payment. But then it says at the checkout, there's a link you should be able to go to establish that monthly payment. I think it has to do with credit or check and all of that, which they don't have problem in doing credit check. But at checkout, I can't see where I can get that link into so they can get approved for the monthly payment. It's just not.
Okay. So what you're talking about through Vax is Uplift. Okay,
Yeah,
Uplift is actually, you have to go through their platform to qualify them. It's not something that you can actually go through Vax on. Unfortunately, it doesn't give that option through Vax to do it. You would have to actually go to Uplift to be able to apply them for it. If I'm not mistaken, I really never worked with Uplift. Maybe Ryan, if you could chime in on that, if you know anything pertaining to Uplift. I'm not 100% sure. I try to stay away from it just because it is a hard hit on their credit. When I normally book to the Bahamas, I normally go through either Pleasant Holiday or Vacation Express.
okay. So probably I need to kind of look around there also.
Right. So Vacation Express, I do a lot of bookings to the Bahamas, to Jamaica, to Aruba, to all those places. I do a lot of bookings there. And normally what I do is I go through Vacation Express or Pleasant Holidays. And with that, you normally get a lot of like the all-inclusives also, especially with both of those that I mentioned, both of those vendors. You could see which ones are the all-inclusives, and it gives you where you can, depending on how far out it is that they're traveling, it'll give you where you can put a deposit and they can pay on it.
Okay.
So those would be two of them that I would say to look into as well. Just because Uplift, you actually have to do that separate. And once again, I'm not too familiar, so I don't want to say yay or nay. I know Uplift, you cannot apply directly through Vax with. But Vax does have their own payment plan. But how far out are they traveling is my question.
Do we have to call them directly
With Uplift?
with Vax, do we have to call them directly to set up
Well,
that payment?
no, actually, hold on. Let me get out of this real quick. Hold on a second. So when you are in Vax, depending on how far out, when is it that they're wanting to travel?
They wanting to go to what's the city called? I'm not closer to it, but I think it's something like NAS, something like
To
that.
Nassau?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah,
And where are they departing from?
Philadelphia.
How, you said it's 3 adults?
Yeah, 3 adults, and they want 2 rooms.
And when is it that they're looking to travel?
The 18th to the 22nd for September.
Okay, for September of this year,
Correct.
they won't be able to get a payment plan because
Okay.
it's under 60 days with some companies, some of them are 90. They won't be able to get a payment plan. They'll have to pay the deposit in full. I mean, they'll have to pay the full amount. Unfortunately, unless they go through Uplift, and Uplift, you actually have to do you have to fill out the application with Uplift, but you have to go directly through Uplift. You can't do it through Vax. You have to do it through Uplift's website directly for it to go through. And I've never worked with Uplift. I just know a little bit about it. Ryan, are you familiar with Uplift?
Uh, I usually don't do that. Uh, Normally, if I'm going to be doing any kind of payment plan with Vax, I'll do the manual one where it says, gives you the option to do the deposit and then keep in contact with the client to make
Okay,
sure that they keep doing the payment.
okay. But I do know you said that they're wanting to go September 30th. Thank you,
Correct.
Ryan.
September 18th to the 22nd.
Thank you, Ryan. I appreciate it.
Quick
I
question. Are they gonna need shots and passports and all that fun stuff? And do they have it?
Yes, they do.
Okay.
With the Bahamas, yes. With the Bahamas, you right now, how everything is going, you have to have COVID test. And I do know that because like I said, I do book a lot with the Bahamas. So they have to be COVID tested. I don't know if it's changed. You want to familiarize yourself by going to the portal for the visa for the Bahamas on what they're requiring at this moment. As far as for entry, I know for departure from the island, they are required to do a COVID test 72 hours prior to their departure date. So if they're only there for 4 nights, on the second day that they're there, they have to get COVID tested. And they have to have their visa filled out as well, through the website that they have for the Bahamas. So let's just say, for instance, I'm just gonna pick any property at this moment just to kind of show you.
And they're looking for a 4-star just to include
Right.
something with a bar inclusive.
Okay, what I'm doing right now, I'm just going to select something just so I could show you what I'm talking about with the deposit.
For the screen share, you're still on the slides.
Am I still on the slides? Hold on, I'm sorry.
And then Ryan just dropped a link for Bahama restrictions.
Thank you for that. All right, can you see the screen now? I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes,
All
ma'am.
right. All right, so what I'm gonna show you here is basically this is everything for it. Package. All right, so as you see right here where it says deposit due, it says 1,424.70. Full payment is due the next day. So they're not able to do a payment plan. Now, I don't know if how Ryan was saying manual, but I do know that when it comes down to under a certain amount of days that it doesn't allow. But I don't know if with manually inputting it, if it allows you to put a deposit, especially when it's saying full payment due for the next day.
All right, so there's nothing to see that with the manual. It is, I kind of been looking all through it. I'm not saying where you can put that.
Right, exactly. So unfortunately, it doesn't give the option to be able to do a manual. Like down here, you could put the amount, but the deposit that's due is this amount. So tomorrow, the remaining balance would be due because that's how it looks right here. So you have to have full payment by the 17th of August. So normally when I've done it, if it's under, with some of them 30 days or 60 days, they require the full amount.
That makes sense. I can kind of explain it to them.
So did that kind of answer your question?
Yes, so I will let them know on because it's on a 30 or 90 days. So that payment plan won't actually work, but then I will look on the what's the notification you were talking about? Classification of Classy Express. I will try to look there also and see if there's any other option. If there's nothing, I will just have to let them know what it is right now.
Sounds good.
Thank you so very much.
No, you're more than welcome.
Hey, Hannah, make sure to read the comments real quick. Ryan has some details about before departure for your
Okay.
client.
All right, I'll do that.
All right. So moving on to our next slide. So here, breaking down basically everything that I've said. And this just kind of breaks it down a little bit more in detail. So you want to make sure, number one, you want to be a great communicator. So whether on the phone, via email, face-to-face, communication skills are by far number one asset to all travel agents should have. Speaking in plain language and asking the right questions, that's going to put your customers at ease and create a space for a genuine dialogue. This is where your listening comes into place. As I said in the beginning, listening to understand what your customer is saying, what your client's saying to you. Being good at communicating also means being able to stop and listen to them. You want to always make sure that you take the time to stop and listen. If you ask a question, stop. Give them a moment to answer it. The only time you want to put close-ended in there is when you're trying to close the deal. But when you're trying to obtain information, stop and listen. Taking on board, what the customers are saying and making, you can't make the eye contact with them because you're over the phone, but making that contact to where they feel that you really are listening is going to be key. All of which helps, you to build a good rapport right from the very beginning. Great communication skills have a direct impact on your expertise. So even if this is your first time ever being a travel agent, if you sound professional and you sound like you know what you're talking about, that gives the communication skills that you need. So it's going to impact them differently. The moment that you start to stutter or stumble or feel lost or confused, that's why I sat there and I said, get the information from them. Tell them, give me about 24 to 48 hours, even 72-hour turnaround time, to be able to get back in touch with you. What time is a good time to call you back that we can be able to, talk about what it is that I found. That gives you the opportunity to look into it, ask questions, look for your sponsor, look for someone in your group, your accountability partner, someone who can help you, if you're new or if you've been doing it for a while. It still gives you the opportunity to build that, to go back to them and actually give them the knowledge and expertise that you have. Being a great communicator is going to be key in sales all around, all across the board. Number two, put yourself in their shoes. The more that you listen to your customer, and as you're going to see, when everything I say, listening is very key. And I repeat that many times in the slides and even with me speaking, because that is what makes us who we are, is listening, in order to understand, because you can listen and not understand, and then that'll hurt you in the long run with your sales. So the more that you empathize with your likes, dislikes, concerns, needs, etc., the more that you show them, what it is that you're going after, the more that they're going to be like willing to give you information. You got to put yourself, like, you're booking this vacation for yourself, for your family. What would you want? What is it that you're looking for? What are your needs? What are your wants? Kind of like empathize with them on what they're looking for and what they're wanting. If you've been on vacation and they're going on something similar to what you've been on, give them feedback, give them input, let them know what you experienced. That this empathy can only come, when you are a great communicator and you have the skill of listening with intent, not just hearing what they say, but understanding and really putting yourself into their situation. This empathy is going to prove to your customers that you aren't a typical salesperson. You're not just trying to get their money and not only looking at that price tag, that you actually have their best interest at heart. That's what's going to make you a travel agent that rocks, because you listen, you put yourself in their shoes, you are coming with everything and the intent to show them that you're willing and able to go that extent to get them what they want. Number three, get organized. There are many simple things that you can, save time and effort further down the line. Sometimes it can be tough. You got to remember that all things you have to do in one day, and start by writing it down, a to-do list, every morning, and try to stick to it. Okay, you finished your day, you have 3 clients, you got to get back in touch with these clients, in 2-3 days, or maybe even, less than 24 hours. All right, before you lay down to go to bed, write all that down. Write it down. Get yourself something prepared for the next day. Okay, well, this is what I got to do. This is who I'm going to work on first. Well, this person I don't got to call back for, 2 or 3 days. So let me work on the one that's priority and then work on the other ones. If I finish with this one, I've got enough time to work on the other ones, and I start working on them. You've got to organize yourself, because this is your business. At the end of the day, you are your own worst enemy. You are the only person who can hold yourself back from making top dollar, from making either, whether it's same day commission, or even making commission that's going to pay you back in a month or 2 months, whenever it is that they travel. You are the only person who can stop yourself from being able to succeed as a travel agent. So, and when I say that, you got to make sure, don't be afraid to use an old pen and paper, act like, you're writing things down. Make your brain work, put yourself where you're organized, where you've got everything in front of you, your space for work, don't put anything else in that space. Keep yourself organized, where you could find, even on your computer, I have this file that's for my credit card authorizations. I got this file that's for whether it's a brochure to send them in an email about, their vacation that they're going on. Have everything organized for you. The different products, offers, brochures, that's going to interest your customers. You want to have it all organized, so you're not fumbling over it, so this way you have it more together. So when you actually are presenting it to them, you could say, listen, can I have your email address? By this time, you should already have it. But even when you're first speaking to them, let me get your email address. So this way I can send you some information on what I find. Bam, you get off the phone, you go into your file folder, you've got everything organized on your computer, you can do it, whether you're mailing it out to them, whether you're seeing them face to face, you have everything set. You have to be organized. An unorganized person does not look effective and does not have the intent or communicating properly as a person who is organized. That is something that we always have to keep in mind. We need to always stay organized. Number 4, stay humble. If you're wrong, admit it. Not for nothing, if you book a vacation and you went on the assumption that you offer travel protection, but then you look later on and you're looking at your paperwork and you realize that you didn't, and you may have the time to still do it, admit that you're wrong. Call a customer, let them know, my apologies. I didn't realize we didn't get the protection plan on there. It's an option for you right now with hard times with COVID going on. Anything can happen. It's always good to have it, even if it's just for future travel credit. Let's get you that protection plan that you need, because your money is valuable just like your time. Sell yourself yet again, like I said before. Sell yourself. Get that on there. You've admitted that you forgot to mention it, and you got them the information they needed. Maybe you'll get that protection plan added. If you're right, stay quiet. Okay, you're right. I live by something every day of my life. If I'm right, I'm going to fight it tooth and nail. If I'm wrong, you know what? I'll say, okay, I'm wrong. I'm wrong. I admit that. But if I'm right, I will always fight it tooth and nail. There's nothing worse than a smug salesperson to put anyone off wanting to buy it. If you're asked a question and you don't know the answer, be honest. Do your best to find the answer. There's so many knowledgeable people within this company that can answer your question. And if they don't have that answer, they're going to go to someone who can find it. I'm really big on that. I will help anyone. I will try to find it. If I don't know the answer, I'll never tell you that I do. If I don't, I'll let you know, hey, give me a moment. Let me try to see if I can find out for you. You want to always do that with your clients as well. Let them know, what, that's a great question. Let me see if I can go ahead and get that answer to you. When I give you a call back, I'll have that answer for you. You want to always try to make sure you don't leave them on edge of whether or not they can trust you or, confide in you like that. Don't try to wing it on the spot. You'll appear false and unprofessional. That is very big. Don't try to wing it on the spot. You don't want to seem false and unprofessional to your clients. That will lose your sale in a heartbeat, because the moment that you sit there and you try to wing it, they're going to hear it in your voice. Once again, tone and reflection is everything when it comes down to your clients, because everything is over the phone. So you want to make sure that you are dotting your I's, crossing your T's, and giving them accurate and correct information. Number 5, plenty of rigor and patience. If you say you're going to do something, you simply have to do it. If you tell them I'm going to do it in this time frame, stick to it. If you see that you're not going to be able to, shoot an email to them or get on the phone with them and let them know, listen, I'm still working on this. I just want to keep in touch with you. They're willing to understand more than letting it go 2-3 days and them not hearing from you. And then when you go to call them, they don't answer your call. That is a sign of they're not interested any longer, because you've left them in the air on what you were going to do for them. How many times has somebody promised you that, they'll get back to you and they never do? We as human, as people, get upset when that happens to us. So imagine, once again, putting yourself in their shoes, how they would feel as well. It doesn't feel good. You're confident, your confidence is not there with that person any longer. Patience is a skill that is often overlooked in any profession, but especially, in sales. People just look to make that money. They're not looking at being professional. You've got to maintain professionalism. This is your business. You're representing yourself. You never want to leave a bad taste in someone's mouth. So if you can't be professional and have patience, you won't succeed. You have to learn to be patient, understanding, and be able to communicate and commit to what it is that you're doing. If a customer doesn't give you an answer straight away and has no more questions to ask, then let them off and think. Send timely reminders, but don't overload them with calls and emails. Don't spam them. Don't, continuously, if they say, let me think this over, give them that time frame. Give them, 2 days, 3 days. If they tell you, okay, well, let me wait till Thursday. All right. So if they're going to wait till Thursday, you don't want to ring them, send them an email. It doesn't hurt, but don't overload them either, because a pushy salesperson won't be tolerated by majority of people. We are people. We ourselves are consumers every day. So if we don't like it, what makes you think that the person wanting to book the vacation will? That's something you always have to think about. Number 6, finally, you develop a worldview. If you really love travel, then you know how to travel. Then you know that travel today is much more than a well-crafted itinerary. Go beyond the obvious attractions in a destination. Read a little bit about its history, present day modernity, culture, and even its news makers. Whatever it is that sticks out, you want to bring it to the attention. In that time frame that you're looking to sit there and give them the information when you call them back, make sure you've done your research. Find out what's sticking out, what's popping, what's going to stick out to your consumer, what sticks out to you. If it sticks out to you, it might 50% to 60% of the time stick out to them. So you want to make sure that you can offer that as well. Never forget your biggest competition is online. Meet them on their ground by being on top of the latest online prices, even offline. Stay updated with all the current travel business news and the impact on booking patterns, flights, currencies. You can do this by signing up for newsletters, subscribing to social media platforms, and attending networking events. What I do every day, let me tell you, I help my clients. I will go on there. If I'm booking a client for an airfare, I just did it the other day, and I did it through JetBlue. I went ahead and made them a Blue member, to be able to save, miles, to get miles, to build points. You can do that. You can help your client, and they'll thank you for it because you took that time, you took that extra step to help them. Maybe they didn't know about that. You just brought that to their attention. They're going to come back and book with you. Why? You help them get a little savings. You help them build miles. You took that next step, that initiative to do that. Soon you'll find yourself developing a worldview that will be complete your travel expertise. boost your confidence and help you respond, even more effectively to your clients. That's very important. Make your plan. With making your plan, one of the biggest things here is, set the destination and the travel theme, set travel dates, mode of travel, and find accommodations, find local attractions, foods, venues, activities. These are a lot of the things that when we're booking our clients, we look at in this same pattern, 1, 2, and 3. Set the destination and the travel theme. You want to set that tone. You want to find out what it is. They're going to already know more or less what they want. So get it together. Get the travel dates, mode of travel, how they're wanting, the accommodations. Find local attractions, food, venues, and activities, different excursions and things that they can do where they're traveling to. This is the same. These are the steps that you want to be able to do it in when you're getting that client to get that sale. It's very important. That is everything that I basically have as far as for the sales and skills. Now I'm going to open up for any, questions and answers that, for any questions anyone will have. So are there any questions?
Be sure to comment in the chat box, everybody. Thank you so much, Carmen. I learned a lot. I mean, I like to say I know some stuff, which I do, but being organized was a great reminder. And then building rapport and vacation with everybody, or not everybody, but with your clients.
Definitely. Thank you, Ryan. Appreciate it. Anyone that's in here, is any questions? Cora Lee, I hope I'm saying that right. I'm glad that it was able to help you. Moto E, you're welcome.
Thank you.
That one's Hannah.
Oh, okay.
This is Carly.
Yes, Carly, how you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Really, because I knew all this. It's just I didn't organize it well enough to be able to say it like you did. So thank you. I do always have to work on all of them.
You're more than welcome. You're more than welcome. That's something we don't realize, a lot of the time, we go into it and we know it, and we do know it. You're absolutely right, Carly. We do know it. And we don't know how to put it to action. And sometimes we need, these trainings, they help us just to remind us that of the things that we should be doing within our travel business. And sometimes we need those reminders on ways that can help us. So that's the whole reason I did this. Not saying that people don't know, sometimes, we just kind of forget, or we don't know how to piece it together ourselves. Any other questions? Anyone have any questions for me? You can go ahead and put it in the chat box, or if you want to unmute yourself. All right, well, Amy, if there's no other questions, I'm going to go ahead and stop recording.
Yes, ma'am.